What if the healthy vegetables you eat every day are quietly damaging your heart? Find out which ones could be putting your health at risk right now. Have you ever been told your blood pressure looks fine, only to feel anything but fine? Tired, dizzy, anxious, or worse, waking up at night feeling like your heart is pounding out of your chest? Here's the truth most doctors won't say out loud. Blood pressure problems don't always show up on a chart. And after 60, what's considered normal for a 30-year-old might actually be dangerous for you. There's a quiet crisis happening in senior health, and it has everything to do with how blood pressure is misunderstood, mistreated, and often ignored. But today I'm pulling back the curtain, because you deserve answers, real answers, and more importantly, you deserve peace of mind. Hi there, and welcome back to Everyday Seniors, where we talk about real solutions, real wellness, and real hope for people over 60. If you've ever felt like the medical world speaks a language you don't understand, or that your concerns are brushed off with a quick prescription, you're in the right place. Today we're diving into 7 surprising blood pressure traps that can silently harm your heart, your brain, and your quality of life. These are mistakes nearly every senior makes, not out of laziness but because no one ever told them otherwise. But by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to watch out for and what to do instead. Now, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to empower you. So if you've ever looked at your pill organizer and thought, is this really helping me feel better? Or if you're simply tired of being in the dark about your health, go ahead and tap that like button right now. Let's show the algorithm that seniors want clarity, not confusion. Let's begin with one of the most common and most misunderstood blood pressure traps out there. And it starts in the morning. Most people over 60 assume that if their blood pressure reads okay at the doctor's office once every few months, they're safe. But blood pressure isn't a one-time event. It's a rhythm, rising and falling like the tide, changing with stress, sleep, movement, and yes, even posture. And that brings us to the first silent trap: morning blood pressure spikes. You see, our bodies are wired to release a surge of hormones like cortisol and adrenaline in the early hours of the day. It's what gets us up and moving. But after 60, this natural spike can become exaggerated, especially if we're dehydrated, sleep-deprived, or taking medications at the wrong time. So what happens? You stand up from bed, shuffle to the bathroom, and suddenly you feel lightheaded. Maybe your chest flutters. Maybe you feel off, but can't explain why. That, my friend, could be your morning blood pressure spiking like a roller coaster, and it's a leading cause of strokes in seniors. What makes this worse is that most blood pressure medications are taken in the morning, hours after the spike already happened. It's like putting out a fire after the house has already caught flame. Now, I'm not saying you should change your meds without speaking to your doctor. Never do that. But what I am saying is this: your timing might matter more than anyone told you. Some experts now suggest taking certain medications in the evening, when your body is preparing to rest and repair. And keeping a simple blood pressure log at home, especially one that includes morning and evening readings, can reveal patterns your doctor never sees. Which leads us to the second trap: treating numbers, not people. We've all seen the charts. 120/80, the so-called gold standard. But here's the issue. That number was developed for younger adults. As we age, our arteries naturally stiffen. Our body compensates. So sometimes, slightly higher blood pressure may actually be protective, especially if it helps keep blood flowing to the brain. But what happens? A doctor sees a high reading, prescribes stronger meds, and suddenly you're dizzy, tired, or falling. This is what I call pressure perfectionism, trying to force your numbers into a textbook ideal without considering how you actually feel. Let me tell you a quick story. A dear friend of mine, Margaret, 76, was the picture of health. Active, joyful, never missed her morning walks. But after a routine visit, her doctor added a second blood pressure pill. What? Her numbers were in the 140s, not great but not awful. Within a week, she was napping twice a day, skipping her walks, and feeling like a shadow of herself. Turns out, her body needed that higher pressure to function. Once she spoke up and adjusted her dose, her energy returned like a light switch. I'm sharing this because numbers don't tell the full story. You do. Your symptoms, your energy, your mood, they matter just as much, if not more, than what shows up on the screen. So please, if this resonates with you, drop a red heart in the comments and share your experience. Have you ever felt worse after trying to fix your blood pressure? Let's get the conversation going, because when we speak up, we lift each other. And remember, you are not a number. You are a whole person with wisdom, stories, and a body that's doing its best every single day. We've just scratched the surface, but already you're beginning to see that the blood pressure story isn't black and white. There are shades of truth, layers of care, and most of all, room for hope. Let's keep going, my friend. Because what you don't know about your daily habits, especially the ones you were told were healthy, might actually be making your blood pressure worse. Now I want to talk about something many seniors pride themselves on: being active. Walking, gardening, staying busy, it's the heartbeat of staying young, right? But here's the uncomfortable truth. Overexertion in the name of health can backfire. Let me say that again. Too much of a good thing can quietly raise your blood pressure. It's the third trap, and it hides behind the best intentions. I know many of you were raised in a time when hard work meant everything. You pushed through. You didn't complain. And now in your 60s, 70s, or even 80s, there's a deep sense of pride in staying busy, in doing things yourself, in not becoming a burden. But pushing your body without listening to it can flood your system with stress hormones, and those raise your blood pressure faster than salt on a French fry. It's called effort-induced hypertension, and it shows up after shoveling snow, rushing through grocery aisles, bending over too long in the garden, or even, believe it or not, holding your breath while getting out of a chair. These small moments of strain cause spikes. And the worst part? You often don't feel them until later, when you're resting and suddenly your heart feels jumpy or your head feels cloudy. One gentleman I spoke with, Carl, age 72, told me he felt proud that he was still mowing his lawn every weekend. But every Saturday night he got headaches and needed to lie down for hours. He never put the two together. It wasn't until he used a home monitor before and after mowing that he saw the truth. His blood pressure shot up by 40 points. Carl didn't stop mowing. He simply changed how he did it. Early mornings, breaks every 10 minutes, plenty of water, and asking his grandson to do the heavy lifting. This isn't about doing less. It's about doing smarter. And that brings us to the fourth trap: dehydration masquerading as blood pressure trouble. You might not feel thirsty, but as we age, the body loses its ability to detect dehydration. That's right, you can be dangerously low on fluids and not feel a single sign. And when you're even mildly dehydrated, your blood gets thicker. Your heart works harder. And, surprise, your blood pressure climbs. Or worse, it swings wildly up and down, leaving you feeling confused, anxious, or dizzy. Let me tell you about Maria, age 81, who emailed me after watching one of our videos. She said, "Every afternoon I feel faint, but my blood pressure reads normal. My doctor says I'm fine." We went back and forth and I gently asked, "How much water are you drinking?" Her answer, "Maybe 2 glasses a day. I don't like the taste." Friends, this is so common. So I encouraged her to try small sips every hour, a slice of lemon for flavor, and herbal teas in the evening. 1 week later, her symptoms eased. Her energy improved. Her confidence returned. You see, hydration isn't just about feeling parched. It's about giving your heart what it needs to function smoothly. And it doesn't take much, just consistency. If you've ever been told your pressure is labile or hard to control, try this. Track your water intake for 3 days. You may find a pattern no one else has seen. I want to pause here and ask you something personal. Have you ever felt dismissed when you brought up a strange symptom? Like the room suddenly got quiet or the doctor gave you a polite smile and changed the subject? I want you to know you're not alone. And you're not imagining things. That's why I created this channel, to create a space where seniors are not ignored but heard, not brushed off but empowered. So if this conversation has you nodding along or even feeling a little emotional, I want to invite you to comment below. Just one sentence: I want better answers. That's it. Because your voice matters. And when one of us speaks up, it gives others courage to do the same. Let's take a breath here together. Inhale gently, hold it for a moment, and exhale slowly. Your health doesn't have to be a mystery. Your blood pressure doesn't have to be a battle. We've talked about 4 traps so far: the overlooked morning spike, the obsession with textbook numbers, the danger of overexertion, and the sneaky role of dehydration. Each one reveals a larger truth. What's considered healthy often forgets who you are, how you live, and what your body truly needs now. But you, dear viewer, are not here to follow outdated rules. You're here to reclaim control, to live with less fear, more clarity, and deeper trust in your own experience. And I want you to know something: you're doing wonderfully. Just by watching this far, just by being open, just by listening with your heart, you are already changing your health story. And you're not doing it alone. Let's take a moment to breathe again. Because where we're going now, this is the turning point. Not just in this video, but maybe in how you've been thinking about your health for years. I want to talk about something that doesn't show up on a medical chart, but it affects your blood pressure more than most medications ever could. It's emotional weight. No, not the kind you measure with a scale. I'm talking about the kind you carry in your chest. The kind that wakes you up at 2 a.m. The kind that whispers, "I should have done more," or "I don't want to be a burden." This is the 5th blood pressure trap, and it's one of the most dangerous. Because no pill in the world can fix silent worry. No lab test can diagnose years of hidden stress, loneliness, or grief. But your heart knows. Your nervous system knows. And your blood vessels feel every ounce of it. Let me tell you about Louise. She's 78 and has been watching this channel for a while now. She wrote to me after her husband passed away. "I feel like I'm carrying around a pressure cooker," she said. "Even when I'm calm, my heart is racing." Louise had been eating well, taking her meds, walking daily, but her pressure stayed high. It wasn't until she sat with a grief counselor, just once, that she broke down crying and said, "I didn't know I was allowed to rest." Do you hear that? I didn't know I was allowed to rest. So many of us live with that. This pressure to keep going, to be strong for everyone else, to hold it all together. But the truth is that inner tension, when left unchecked, builds up inside your body like a pot on the stove. And when that pot simmers for too long, the pressure rises. Literally. That's why the 5th trap is not taking emotional health seriously. You deserve peace. You deserve to exhale. You deserve to put down the weight of the world and just be. And I'm not talking about therapy unless you want it. Sometimes emotional healing starts with something simpler, like journaling for 5 minutes in the morning, or sitting quietly with your coffee and saying, "I'm doing the best I can and that's enough." Even sharing a memory with a friend or watching a video like this where you feel seen. These things matter. They calm the nervous system. They soften the heart. And yes, they lower blood pressure. This is where the shift happens, not just in knowledge but in identity. Because once you understand how deeply connected your mind and heart are to your body, something clicks. You stop chasing numbers, and you start nurturing yourself. So I'm going to ask you something that might surprise you. When was the last time you gave yourself credit? Real credit. Not just for surviving, but for learning, for trying, for still being here? Take a second to let that question land. Because your life deserves applause. And your heart deserves kindness, not just from others, but from you. And if no one has told you lately, I'm proud of you. Now, let's move into something a little more surprising, and maybe a little controversial. It's the 6th trap, and I'll be honest, it makes some people uncomfortable. It's over-medication, or more often, mismanaged medication. Here's the thing, blood pressure meds save lives. Full stop. But when they're prescribed in haste, without context, or stacked on top of each other without reevaluation, they can also cause harm. And I've seen it again and again. A senior's blood pressure reads a little high at one appointment. Maybe they were nervous or dehydrated, and suddenly they're on 2 medications. Then the next visit, the pressure dips too low. So another medication is added to balance it out. Before long, the list is 5 pills long, and no one remembers why the first one was given. This is how people end up dizzy, confused, and weak, and sadly it gets blamed on just getting older. No, that's not aging. That's a system that forgets to listen. A viewer named Henry, 74, shared his story with me. He was on 3 blood pressure meds and felt awful. Weak legs. No appetite. Foggy thinking. He brought a notebook to his doctor and said, "I want to review each one. Why I'm on it, how it's helping, and what the risks are." It was uncomfortable. But guess what? One medication was discontinued, another was adjusted, and within weeks he felt like himself again. The power wasn't in the medicine, it was in the conversation. Now let me be crystal clear. Never stop or change medications on your own. But also never forget that you are allowed to ask questions. You are allowed to say, "This doesn't feel right." You are allowed to seek a second opinion. Because no matter what your chart says, you are the expert on your experience. And if you've ever felt overwhelmed by all the prescriptions, I'd love for you to type, "Take back control" in the comments. Not just as a statement, but as a promise to yourself. That you deserve clarity. That you deserve care. And if this kind of conversation speaks to you, if you want more of these honest, heart-first health videos made just for people like us, please take a moment to subscribe. It's not just about following a channel. It's about building a community. A place where your voice matters, your health matters, and aging is not something to fear, but something to live fully. We've come a long way in this video, haven't we? And in the next moments, we're going to step into a space of wisdom, where I'll share a bonus insight. Something that rarely gets talked about, but can make a profound difference in how your body handles pressure, both physical and emotional. You're not just learning facts here. You're reclaiming your health story, one truth at a time. And I'm honored to walk with you. There's something powerful about reaching this stage in life, and I don't just mean age. I mean this stage. This moment where you've lived enough years to see patterns. To feel the truth beneath the surface. To know that health isn't just about numbers or charts or pills. It's about balance. So let's talk about one final trap. One that's quiet but constant. One that hides in plain sight. And one that, when you finally see it, can change everything. The 7th trap is ignoring your daily rhythm. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Daily rhythm? I go to bed at a decent time. I take my meds. What do you mean? I mean how your day flows. Because blood pressure isn't just something that rises because of salt or stress. It also shifts with the natural rhythms of your body. That includes sleep cycles, hydration patterns, meal timing, light exposure, and even your breathing. Let me explain. Your body runs on a kind of internal clock called the circadian rhythm. It tells your organs when to be active, when to rest, and how to regulate hormones like cortisol, the stress hormone that directly affects blood pressure. But when that rhythm is thrown off, by irregular sleep, skipping meals, eating late at night, or sitting inside all day without sunlight, it sends a confusing signal to your body. And your heart? It gets the message that something's not right. So it compensates. Sometimes by tightening blood vessels. Sometimes by beating harder. Sometimes by holding on to more fluid. It's like running a machine with bad instructions. One viewer, Darnell, age 69, told me something that really hit home. I never realized how chaotic my day was until I wrote it down. No wonder my body feels out of sync. So here's the bonus insight, the golden key most doctors don't talk about. Protecting your blood pressure isn't just about what you do. It's about when you do it. Let's walk through a simple example. These aren't rules, just natural supports for your body's rhythm. Morning. Wake up with sunlight, even if it's just opening a window. This signals your brain that the day has begun. Drink a full glass of water. Blood thickens slightly overnight, and this helps rehydrate and ease your pressure. Gentle movement, like stretching or walking, can lower morning spikes in BP. Midday. Eat at consistent times. Blood sugar dips or heavy meals can cause blood pressure to rise or crash. Balanced meals with fiber and protein help stabilize both. Afternoon. Don't sit for hours. Light movement every 30 minutes, just walking to the kitchen or standing for a few minutes, helps keep your circulation flowing. Evening. Dim your lights. Turn off the TV an hour before bed, or at least lower the volume and brightness. Avoid late-night meals, which can interfere with nighttime repair and cause overnight BP spikes. Bedtime. Create a relaxing wind-down ritual. A warm foot soak, quiet music, prayer, or gentle breathing all calm the nervous system. It's not about being perfect. It's about being in tune. Because when your rhythm aligns with nature, your heart gets to rest. Your vessels loosen. Your sleep deepens. And your blood pressure doesn't have to work so hard. And guess what? These daily shifts are free. They require no prescription, no insurance, no appointments. Just attention. When I shared this idea at a senior wellness workshop, one woman raised her hand and said, "You mean I can lower my pressure just by living more gently?" Exactly. Not slower. Not smaller. Just more gently. And that's the deeper wisdom here, isn't it? We've been taught for so long that health is a battle, that we have to fight aging, beat disease, conquer weakness. But what if the real power comes not from force, but from flow, from listening, from giving your body rhythm, from treating each day as a dance instead of a checklist? That's what wisdom looks like. And let's be honest, you've earned it. You've lived through losses and wins. You've seen trends come and go. You've probably taken more blood pressure cuffs and pills than you care to count. But now you get to live from knowing, not guessing. And that means something rare in today's world: peaceful strength. Let that be your gift to yourself. Not another thing to fix, but a new way to honor what your body already knows. And if that resonates with you even just a little, would you tap the like button? Not for me. For you. For your rhythm. For your heart. Because when you engage like that, the YouTube system shares this video with more seniors who need this message. It's a small click that can make a big wave. This conversation matters. You matter. And we're not done just yet. Because in the final part of this journey, I want to leave you with a message that wraps all of this up into something you can carry with you, not just in your mind, but in your spirit. No charts. No traps. Just truth, hope, and the deep knowing that health after 60 isn't just possible, it's powerful. So let's walk one more step together. Toward freedom. Toward vitality. Toward a heart that feels light again. Let's take a breath together. Not just a physical breath, though you're welcome to do that too, but a life breath. The kind you take after a long story or a good cry or a quiet sunrise. That breath that says, "I made it through." Because that's what this video is really about. Yes, we talked about blood pressure, 7 traps that sneak into our lives and quietly strain the heart. But what we really talked about was how to reclaim peace. How to move from fear to freedom. From confusion to clarity. From just managing to truly living. And if you've watched this far, my friend, I want to say something straight from the heart. You are already doing something extraordinary. You showed up for yourself today. You could have clicked away, scrolled past, said, I already know all this. But you didn't. You stayed. You listened. You opened yourself to something new, or maybe something you once knew deep down but needed to hear again. And that right there is strength. That is hope in motion. So where do we go from here? We carry it forward, gently, one small choice at a time. Maybe it's waking up tomorrow and drinking water before your coffee. Maybe it's taking a few deep breaths before reacting to that frustrating phone call. Maybe it's finally asking your doctor about that medication that doesn't feel quite right. Or maybe it's just sitting on the porch and letting the morning light touch your face before the world gets loud. Whatever it is, do it with love. Because at this age, health isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are not behind. You are wise. You are resilient. And you still have chapters to write. I think about my Aunt Lillian when I say this. She was 84 when she finally switched from processed food to fresh meals. And within a month, her blood pressure dropped enough that her doctor reduced her meds. Not because she went on some wild diet or bought a fancy gadget, but because she chose herself. She told me, I just wanted to feel proud of how I lived the last part of my life. And you know what? She did. So here's what I want to leave you with. Your heart has a story. Every beat, every pressure reading, every moment of tension or calm, it's all part of the story your body tells. But you get to be the author. You get to decide if that story ends in exhaustion or in energy, in silence or in song, in worry or in wonder. I believe in the wonder. And if this video has sparked something in you, whether it's a question, a realization, or just the feeling that you're not alone, would you do me one last kindness? Leave a comment below. Let me know how you're feeling, what trap you've escaped, or even just say hello so I know you were here. This channel, this space, it's a community, and your voice matters more than you know. And if this kind of honest, warm, empowering content is something you'd like more of, tap that subscribe button. Not because you have to, but because we're building something here, a place for seniors who are done with fear and ready for freedom. You deserve care that sees you, information that respects you, and guidance that speaks not just to your body, but to your soul. Here at Everyday Seniors, we don't chase youth. We cherish wisdom. We don't fear aging. We honor it. And we don't settle for just getting by. We grow stronger, gentler, and more rooted in joy. So, thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for taking your health seriously and your heart tenderly. You are part of something beautiful. Now go live today like it matters, because it does. Your heart is listening. And so am I. Until next time, take care and take pride. You're not just surviving after 60. You're thriving. With all my care, the Everyday Seniors team.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. It truly means a lot. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with a friend or loved one who might benefit. And leave a comment below. We love hearing your thoughts and experiences. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest tips and uplifting advice for living your best life at any age. Now, if you're ready for more wisdom and encouragement, just click the video that's on your screen right now. It's packed with even more insights made just for you. Take care, stay positive, and we'll see you in the next one.